Live from historic Crocker Field in Fitchburg, FATV presents coverage of Fitchburg High School athletics. And this afternoon, we bring you boys soccer as the Red Raiders of Fitchburg High School take on the Wildcats of Gardner High School. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for tuning in. I'm Daniel Bolak. Happy to have you along with us here today for what should be an exciting soccer match between these two squads. Fitchburg 1-1 already in this young campaign. Got their first victory early on in the campaign with a 4-1 win before coming back with following that up with a 5-2 loss to Quabbin. They beat Oakmont to start their season. Came away with a big victory there to open the season with a win, but lost to Quabbin, who may very well be the team to beat in this pod this year. For Gardner, they are off to an 0-1 start. They also played Quabbin in their opening game. They lost that one by a score of 3-1. Rigo Ruiz had the lone goal for the Wildcats in that one. And so after a little bit of time off, they've been off for 8 days. Gardner ready to get back in it. And Fitchburg already having to wait a day since we were going to be broadcasting this game yesterday, but it was very wet, windy, dreary, rainy out. And obviously that makes for a bad pitch when you have grass as you do here at historic Crocker Field. Fitchburg is in the home dark red uniforms. Red tops, red shorts, red socks, white numbers. They'll go right to left in this first half of play. Gardner is in the visiting white uniforms with orange numbers, black shorts and white socks. They will be going from left to right. Adeyemi Adegbayibi is getting ready. Just waiting for the whistle. There it is, the first touch, and we are underway from Fitchburg. As the Red Raiders will bring it all the way back, all the way to the back line, and Terrell Timothy had a bit of struggle there with the kick onto Rodrigo Arduino. Bit of contact from behind leads to the foul. A free kick for the Red Raiders as they try to move it out of their own end. Kevin Vieira with a nudge on as it's settled down at the center line. Now for Carlos Martinez. Martinez moves it along. Trying to kick it further on is Arduino. He'll control it on the right side, trying to feed Andrew Kamasana. That one blocked out in front by Gardner. That one kicked into the near side corner. A bit of a wildly kicked ball, not well controlled, and the Wildcats have to kick it out of danger. Heading back there, knocked that away was Brian Ruiz, one of 3 captains on this Gardner roster. 4 20-minute quarters this year in MIAA soccer. One of the several rule adjustments made in soccer to try to keep the game safe. By doing the 4 quarters, this gives time for a built-in mask break, as players have to be wearing their masks at all times while the game is on. Kamasana trying to nudge it along, battling for the ball on the far side of the field. It'll go out of bounds, and Gardner will have the kick in. That's, of course, another rule change this year. Try to prevent touching the ball with your hands at all costs. Kick-ins instead of throw-ins. Ball goes out of bounds. And ready to kick it in for the Red Raiders is Carlos Martinez. Nudged along, blocked down by the Wildcats. And a pass intercepted by Arduino. He puts that towards goal, but Nick Karen, the senior netminder, there to corral that one. First shot of the game goes to the Red Raiders. Karen distributing back into play and already to midfield. And a foul is called, as Bradley Mungai was nudged in the back there for the infraction. A free kick for Gardner from midfield. Kick taken by Rigo Ruiz. He had that lone goal against Quabbin just 8 days ago in what was the last match that the Wildcats have played, the only one they played thus far. So they've had a game under their belts to try to get acclimated to the new rules. Fitchburg has had 2, so a slight advantage there on the experience. They've gone through this a couple of times. Ball at midfield. Is Vieira trying to push along. As Martinez with reinforcements. 3 Wildcats getting their feet in there to dig the ball away. As it comes out to midfield. Gardner trying to get on the run here. But still moving the play on to the right side of the field. And the ball will go out of bounds. Last off Fitchburg. Kick in for the Wildcats. Elvis Cameo will have this one. Up to Mungai, back to Cameo. Tries to send it across, and a shot ends up sailing well wide of the Fitchburg keeper. That shot off the foot of Freddie Peralta. It's the first shot attempt for the Wildcats. Brian Vega Cabrera, the goaltender for the Red Raiders. Lone keeper on the roster. Not listed with a number, and unlike the lone keeper on the girls soccer team, who's not listed with a number but actually wears 46, in this case, Vega Cabrera's jersey doesn't have a number on it. He really is unnumbered. But when there's only one keeper on the roster, you don't have to worry too much about it. Edegwaibi pushing it along on the right side. Kamasana trying to take a feed there. Bit of miscommunication in the area. Now players tumbling to ground. The foul's going against Fitchburg. So that was fed into the area, and Nick Caron kind of got crossed up with one of his teammates there, not sure who should take the ball. So on the free kick, Gardner will make their way upfield. Rigo Ruiz has his pass intercepted. Now trying to spring Jesse Jamenchi into the area, and Caron tries to kick it away, sends it off one of his teammates. Alduino puts it towards goal, but hits the left side of the net and will roll away. A little over 5 minutes gone here in the first quarter of play. No score between Gardner and Fitchburg. The clock on your screen, we have it counting up as the clock is unofficial. I figured it'd just be easier, since we don't have the official time, just tell you how much time has elapsed, and that'll give you an idea of where we are. So do not expect the quarter to end the moment the clock hits 20 minutes on your screen, as we may have a little extra stoppage time. Figure that's the way they do it in soccer. It seems to be the way they're doing it here, since the scoreboard is off. Rigo Ruiz feeding the ball into the area.
Let's go, Bradley.
But a bit too far out of the reach of Mungai. Picked into touch by the Red Raiders. Giovanni Nunez was back there to kick it out of danger for just the brief moment, but it gives the Red Raiders time to regroup. That will go out through the end line, and that's going to be a corner kick for the Wildcats, our first corner of the contest. And one guy who's been roaming this right side is going to take it. We'll play it short. Turns around, tries to feed one guy on the give and go. But sent back to the corner, and that ball's going to stop on the end line. And they'll just kick it right off of the defender there and out. That being Giovanni Nunez. One guy with another kick in from the near side. And Nunez drives it downfield, picked up by Drew Patel. Top of the area, trying to settle it down is Kevin Vieira. And Vieira will boot this one away. Long stretch pass, trying to feed Edegwaibi. Gardner able to get on top of that. The play is a bit too rough, they'll rule. And the foul goes against the Red Raiders. Giovanni Princeton moving it along. Now Freddy Peralta challenging for it for Gardner. Out to the back line it'll go Moro Fernandez. Along the far side, trying to stretch that lead pass. Edebeibi couldn't quite get there. Out of bounds it'll go as it's kicked out by Gardner. Go and retrieve that. No ball boys or ball girls allowed this year, and so the players have to go and retrieve the ball when necessary. And furthermore, bare hands not allowed to touch the ball, else it must be removed from play. So they made it clear for the keepers, wearing gloves is compulsory. When sent across and booted out for a corner kick, they're not getting that ball back. That one making a beeline for the Nashua. So Nick Heron will have to use the reserve ball next to the net there. And Fitchburg will have their first corner. That one fed out of danger, kicked back towards the goal, but it'll go just wide off the foot of Arduino. Wide to the left of the goal. Nick Heron runs it down, but he'll just let it go, and a goal kick. One of the new rules this year, goal kicks cannot travel in the air beyond midfield. If it does, then they'll whistle play dead there, and the opposition will get the ball at midfield at the spot that it crosses the line. It's another one of those rule changes to try to prevent having to play the ball in the air. As many of you know, headers have been banned from soccer this year at the high school level here in Massachusetts. Another one of those safety changes. Giovanni Princeton called for the foul there. His feet clips the feet of a Wildcat. Premature start there. Don't know if the necessary space had been given. So Gardner will get a reprieve. Just past halfway gone in this first quarter of play here from historic Crocker Field. No score between Fitchburg and Gardner. Shots are 3-1 in favor of the Red Raiders. Shots on goal at 1-0 in favor of the team clad in red. Sell down on the left side by Nunez. Challenging illegally were the Wildcats. That was Mungai. Bit too much contact on the challenge there. Battling with Arduino. Another one of those quiet rule changes made is instead of having 3 referees, 1 referee and 2 referees, 2 assistants roaming the lines. Instead, we have just 2 referees roaming the field. Much like you would see in field hockey. It's definitely different. Basically have to serve to watch for onside. And both of them equally inclined to call fouls, penalties, and the like. Kicking for the Red Raiders. Vieira up the right side. Kamasana. Digveivi. Lost the handle, and now Gardner. Pushing up on the far side. Bit out of reach that last kick went. Henry Aguilar was the one in pursuit of that ball as he goes out of bounds. Another kick in now for Fitchburg. You can see the benches as well. Instead of just one long bench with players sitting on it, instead an array of chairs, almost like you would see in a classroom, with proper social distancing involved. Kick in for Gardner. And a stretch pass. It's a one-on-one to goal. And now a free chance here. A shot. And a goal. Players checking up for a moment, thinking maybe there'd be an offsides or something to that nature. But not so, not coming. And Elvis Cameo, the sophomore midfielder, gets the opening strike in the 13th minute to put the Wildcats on the board. It was just Tyrell Timothy to beat. He was just able to get around, get that shot on, and Vega Cabrera not able to react to it. As it finds the back of the net, and Gardner off and running. Another stretch pass looking for Cameo again. Fitchburg now wants to respond in kind, as there's a great shot there off the foot of Adegbaibi. But a great save there by Nick Caron. Corner kick paid to the Red Raiders. As that one popped up in the air by Martinez, but sails wide of the goal. Shots now 4-2 in favor of Fitchburg. Shots on goal 2-1 in favor of Fitchburg. But the scoreboard, if it were on, would be telling you right now it's 1-0 Gardner. About 5.5 minutes estimated remaining in this first quarter of play. Martinez up the right side for Kamasana. Couldn't keep control of it as it goes out through the sideline. And a kick in for the Wildcats. JJ Corral, the freshman, a give and go back to himself. Near side Martinez picking that. Kamasana double teamed. Corral trying to corral it. Kamasana able to win the ball. Well done there. Challenge there stepping up was Ricky Ruiz. He's able to take that away, try to hit that lead pass. Mauro Fernandez gets there first for Fitchburg. Gardner still trying to press on. Got some numbers, a shot on, save. And the rebound pulled out of danger. Vega Cabrera with his first save of the contest. And the foul called against Gardner. Vega Cabrera kicks that to the midline, just landed beyond it, but that wasn't a goal kick. That was a free kick after the foul. So no infraction there. Arduino lost the handle. And now Cameo up the right side, trying to protect the ball. Contact made there. Earned the whistle. And a free kick coming for the Wildcats. Rigo Ruiz, one of 3 captains along with Kevin Rivera and Brian Ruiz. Rigo already with a goal on this season. Goes right for goal, and he puts it over the goal. It was a few feet farther back on that kick. He would have nailed that right under the crossbar. But just a little too much airtime on that one. Shots now 4-all, and shots on target 2-all. A pretty even game between these two sides. So we're in the 18th minute. 1-0 Gardner in front. That lead pass there up the far side. In pursuit for the Wildcats was Freddie Peralta, but he couldn't run that down quickly enough. Have a pause to play here. So substitution made. As Eric Abua is into the game now for the Red Raiders. It's at least the first substitution I've seen in this contest. Fitchburg's got the significantly deeper roster, 26 players in their roster, 24 with numbers assigned. For Gardner, just 17 players, 7 of them seniors, 2 juniors, 4 sophomores, 4 freshmen. They also have an 8th grader on the roster in Wyatt Tom, who's the reserve keeper. If you were with us on our broadcast on Monday, Gardner entitled to use 8th graders if they so desire because they are an 8 through 12 school. Arduino with that lead pass, now blasted in the direction of the goal by Jim Inchy. Ends up curving wide of the cage. So a goal kick coming for the Wildcats. Settle down in the midfield. Ultimately, Gardner not able to do much with it. Trying to keep that inbounds was Jimenchi, but wasn't able to do so. That one kicked out there by Nunez. Challenging with Cameo. Kicking for Cameo. But stepping right in is Nunez to knock that away, but Gardner will take the advance in territory. Ball wasn't properly set on the sideline before the kick in. Told Patel to go back and do it again. Kicked out of bounds yet again. And now just ends up being a kick it right in, and then Arduino just kicks it right out. And close to the end of this first quarter, as Nunez boots it downfield for Vieira. And the whistle blows for 1 quarter time here at historic Crocker Field, where the score is Fitchburg 0, Gardner 1. Goal in the 13th minute off the foot of Elvis Cameo is the lone tally in this one. Shots through 1 quarter of play, Fitchburg with 5, Gardner with 4. Shots on goal are 2 apiece. But of course, Gardner's got the one that counts, the one that pays. And they've got a goal to nil lead through 1 quarter of play. So look at what these two teams brought in last year. So the Red Raiders, according to Telegram and Gazette, posted a record of 4-12-1. They went 4-5-1 in Mid-Wash E. A bit of a step back from 2018 when they posted a 7-10-1 record. For the Red Raiders, they were able to get 2 wins against Murdoch, both by a score of 5-1. They beat Narragansett 6-1. They also tied them 4-4. And their one other victory was against Toronto, a 2-1 victory for the Red Raiders. They also lost to them 3-1. So that was some Mid-Wash E battling there. The Red Raiders only able to beat teams in Mid-Wash E last year. And interestingly enough, for Gardner, it was the same thing for them. All of their wins came against Mid-Wash E teams. They finished 4-13-1 themselves with an 0-7-1 record. And like the Red Raiders, they had 7 wins the year before. So it went from 7 to 4. And for the Wildcats, they beat Narragansett twice, both in Laffers, 5-0 and 8-0. They beat Murdoch as well, 7-0. And these two teams did play each other last year. That game was played up at the high school, and Gardner won that one by a score of 4-3. So you might know last year they didn't play soccer here at historic Crocker Field. So they wanted to try to preserve the field as best as they could. Because it's, it's getting up there in age. It's taken a heck of a beating over the years. And they felt they would have a lot of trouble preserving it throughout the season if they were playing more sports besides football. If they were playing soccer and field hockey and lacrosse. Well, lacrosse is more of a spring thing, but still. If they're playing those additional sports, the concern was that the field would deteriorate too much over the course of the season. This year, with football moved into the late winter/early spring, it does free up Crocker Field to be used for boys and girls soccer. as field hockey has moved to Game On Fitchburg up in West Fitchburg. We broadcast our first game from there a couple of days ago. Very nice new facility. Still not done yet either. They've only got 3 of the 7 fields built out yet, but what they do have open now is quite spectacular, and so are the views. Now getting ready for the second quarter of play. And with the sound of the electronic whistle, we are underway here in the second quarter of play. And we come to a stoppage play there with the sound of the electronic whistle as Elvis Cameo and Carlos Martinez collided there in the Fitchburg half. The Raiders taking the free kick. Terrell Timothy up to the near side for Arduino. He'll get it back. Gets it across midfield. Tries to get the stretch pass for Givenchy. But out of bounds it'll go. And now Arduino will go on the run to retrieve that ball.
Put that back. You can't touch the ball with your hand. Yes. Don't touch the ball with your hand next time, please.
And Arduino has gone and touched the ball with his hands, so he has contaminated the soccer ball, and it must be removed from play. Sounds harsh, but that's the rules. You can't touch it with your bare hands. You can't touch it during normal play with your bare hands, and you can't touch it when it's out of play with your bare hands either. So that ball will have to be sanitized before it can be returned to play. I've noticed with the field hockey game that we did on Monday, the officials would very much prefer that you use the same ball throughout. And I think it's the same thing here, that the officials would prefer to use that same soccer ball for as long as you can until you feel like you can't use it anymore. And only in certain situations do they feel like they have to switch it, like in that case where the ball touched a player's hand, or as we saw in the first quarter, when someone kicked the ball into the Nashua. Reminds me of my time at Fitchburg State, where it was not uncommon to see players kick the balls into the woods. The woods that are very prominent on one side, a couple of sides really, of Elliott, but mainly the sideline opposite of the press box. If you're a ball boy or a ball girl, you've got to go and get that ball. Not a fun time. Fortunately, I'm good at broadcasting, so I never had to do that job. Fitchburg trying to control it on the far side of the field. Martinez settling it. Comisano battling there with Aguilar for Gardner. Ball knocked out of bounds. Comisano trying to feed it for Vieira. That one taken down by Corral. Now towards midfield. And Mauro Fernandez on for Nunez. Back for Fernandez it goes to the right side. Trying to hit that lead pass. They want to get Comisano for a cross. Couldn't quite get there. Ball pinballs out of bounds. It's last off a Fitchburg leg. And a goal kick awarded. About 3.5 minutes into this second quarter of play. 24th minute of the game. 1-0 Gardner in front. Have a kick in from right on the midline, more or less. They're telling Andrew Comisano he's got to get away from the ball. You've got to give the 5 yards there on those kick-ins. Comisano able to win control of the ball and draw an infraction. A free kick coming for the Red Raiders. Fernandez will settle back to Vieira for Fernandez. Pinballing it around. Vieira out to the near side for Nunez. Now back for Vieira. We'll put it across. Carlos Martinez to settle it. Red Raiders trying to play more keep away than anything at the moment. It's Princeton on the right side now. Vieira trying to find some space in the middle of the field. Vieira trying to feed. Kamasana, can he get there? He'll learn a corner as he battled there with Corral, who ends up kicking it out of bounds. Turn around. Nicely struck one-timer by Arduino, but ends up going wide to the right. And a goal kick coming for Nick Heron. From my count, that was the first shot attempt of the second quarter. Shots now 6-2 in favor, 6-4 in favor of Fitchburg. Shots on goal remain 2 apiece. But Gardner's got the lone goal in this one. Fernandez going out to Timothy. Oh, that could be dangerous there, and another great chance for Gardner. But the self-pass a bit too strong for the Wildcats. Just trying to spring there was Freddy Peralta. Cameo, the goal scorer, trying to keep it alive. On the near side, out of bounds it'll go. Patel with the kick in. And it goes straight out off the feet of Nunez. Patel with another one. And that one, definitely a misfire. Too strong off the foot of Patel, right off the foot of Ricky Ruiz. And into touch it goes. That one not handled terribly well either by the Red Raiders, but they're able to take control of it. Looks scary for a moment as Rigo Ruiz had stepped up there, ready to challenge. Vieira has his pocket picked. Timothy, practically the last line of defense. As Gardner trying to get something going there from Ricky Ruiz. Now a turnaround shot blocked, second chance blocked as well. That was some good defense there by Mauro Fernandez. 2 blocked shots there. Gardner will have the corner kick, but it's preferable to giving up a second goal. There's Ricky Ruiz. Tries to find Cameo, but instead finds the feet of Jesse Jamenchi. Cameo able to get it back. Double teamed, essentially. Too much contact ruled against Rodrigo Arduino. The free kick coming here for Rigo Ruiz. That one right to the feet of Kevin Vieira. Red Raiders clear it to midfield. Vieira, the move on for Adegbaibi. Now here's a stretch pass trying to feed Kamasana. They want to get this cross on. They get the cross on, but Adegbaibi wasn't able to get his knees to the ball as he was trying there. That one kicked into touch. Me and John Gugrity talked about this during our girls soccer broadcast, in which we mentioned that's the type of play where you're sort of conditioned to go for the ball, like you want to put your head on that one and you want to try to head that towards. That's what you've been conditioned to do your whole life playing soccer. But in 2020, in high school soccer, you can't do it. And so changes things up quite a bit in terms of how you play the ball, in terms of what you do in these circumstances. Like we had something happen off the ball, and Gardner's going to have the free kick. Vieira will settle that. Now Jemenshi up in the area, stumbling and falling to ground there was Arduino. No cynical contact, so we'll play on. And it looks like, I heard the officials say, I'm going to call white first, implying there might have been infractions on both sides, but Gardner committed the initial foul. And so the free kick awarded. As that one turned towards goal by Vieira, but well tracked by Nick Karen. He'll knock that down for his third save of the contest. Ball disposed quite a distance downfield. But the whistle blows. And the free kick to be awarded to the Red Raiders. Based on where they're putting it, I think this is one of those circumstances of he disposed of the ball quickly, but he threw it over the midline. And as we mentioned, you can't do that this year. On the right side, Fitchburg trying to get it across. That one struck off a knee into goal, but off the side of the net. It's going to be a corner for the Red Raiders. This is their fifth at least. Big Baibi and Kamasana in the corner. Trying to play that on for the Red Raiders. That one ends up coming out to Carlos Martinez. You can see a couple of the Wildcats really swarming there. And able to take control of the ball. Gardner trying to use fancy footwork to keep it. But they lose it right at the midline. Fitchburg with the touches on. And that one looked like they're trying to feed Adegbeibi for that stretch pass, but I don't think he saw it coming. There's Mungai trying to move the ball along for Gardner, but it will be taken now by Vieira. Kamasana on the right side, nudged off his feet. Gardner trying to push for territory. Fitchburg having none of it. About the 33rd minute of this contest, 1-0 Gardner in front, a 13th minute goal, all we've had thus far. That one going to roll all the way to the Fitchburg goal, and Brian Vega Cabrera will pick it up. We'll put it back into play. Martinez and Giovanni Princeton. Fed up to midfield. So we've seen Kamasana paired up there with J.J. Corral. Corral just a freshman. 1 of 4 on this roster for Gardner. Not afraid to go down the class chart and use some players from the class of 2024. Looks like a bit of mixed communication on who that last foul is on, but it looks like it's going to be Gardner's ball. They'll have the kick in. Ball got well away from where they wanted to play it back in. And now Gardner will have it. There's Rigo Ruiz. Trying to nudge along, keep it in play. Sends it across towards goal, but offline just a little bit. Goal kick coming for the Red Raiders and Vega Cabrera. As we mentioned, not allowed to touch the ball with your hands, but Vega Cabrera and Karen may do so because they're wearing gloves. Their bare hands are not touching the ball, and thus they're not contaminated. It is noted, though, that the goaltenders are not allowed to spit on their gloves, else they will need to get a new pair of gloves. Foul against Gardner. And now Vieira. Challenge disadvantaged there. And Cameo. Stretch kick downfield. Nunez out for Vieira. That's moved along across midfield. It'll come back now for Rigo Ruiz. Demenci with one touch on. Vieira able to get it back, win it off of Ricky Ruiz. Some corralling and way too much there by Gardner. Rigo Ruiz doing that. It was actually Ruiz drawing the foul. He was the one who was not guilty of that. It was not enough. That's blasted in the direction of the goal. Sent there with authority by Cameo, but well offline. Minute of 35 minutes or so complete here. One nothing Gardner in front. Jesse Demenci not able to keep that one in play. So kicked in by Drew Patel. Carlos Martinez tangling for the ball. Too much done there. Freddie Peralta at the free kick. He'll leave it off for Rigo Ruiz. I think they want to know if this is a direct or indirect free kick. It does make a difference, because if it's because there's too much corralling for it because it's one of those COVID stoppages, then they don't actually award a direct free kick, but an indirect free kick, which means you can't boot it straight towards goal. It's got to touch somebody else before it can be put in the goal legally. So they don't want players blasting for goal on a stoppage that was for one of the new COVID regulations. Kick in intercepted by Rigo Ruiz. Up the right side, Cameo trying to gain some space. Cameo nudging it into the area. Sell down by Princeton. Trying to get to the near side for Terrell Timothy, but out of his reach. Here's some of the coaching yelling, keep it simple. Feel like some of the plays there might be a bit too aggressive, might be making it all a bit too fancy. Johnny Vasquez comes into the game for Gardner. Eric Abua re-enters for the Red Raiders. Peralta thought he'd won some space there, but all he'd earned was a foul. The officials, as we've seen, not afraid to use their whistles today. A lot of whistles on both sides. The play just a bit too chippy. Stretch pass trying to feed Giovanni Nunez. But it finds a wildcat first. That one kicked out of bounds. Goes off the feet of Rodrigo Arduino, or the legs. Patel, sophomore. He'll kick it in. Kamasana steps up, gets a touch on Henry Aguilar with that stretch pass. Just a bit too far for Freddie Peralta.
It's not worth it.
Brian Vega Cabrera will get to it first. Probably a little more than a minute left in regulation time in this first half of play. Although that Red Raider who's gone to ground there needs a little bit help up. Adeyemi Adegbaibi was the one who went to the ground there after that. He's back up, looks like he's all right. He's going to go to the sideline. Get him checked out. Red Raiders will have to sub somebody in. Nobody was ready to go. Jasine Jemshi will come back into the game. Jamenshi trying to settle it down now. Push towards goal. Not a lot on it off the foot of one of the Red Raiders there in Rodrigo Arduino. Ends up being a simple save for Nick Karen. Now we are very much into stoppage time as that's sent across and booted into touch. Will be a kick in for Gardner. But there won't be enough time to take it as the whistle will sound for halftime here from historic Crocker Field. No scoring in that second frame of 20 minutes. So at halftime, the score remains Fitchburg 0 and Gardner 1. Elvis Cameo, sophomore midfielder, finding the back of the net in the 13th minute of this contest. That's the lone goal we have. Shots in that second quarter. Gardner had 4, none were on target from my count. And for the Red Raiders, my count, they had 4 with 2 on target. So 1 save for Brian Vega Cabrera in this game for the Red Raiders, and 4 saves for Nick Karen, his counterpart on the other end for the Wildcats. So we'll take a quick break here and be back very shortly with the third quarter of play between the Red Raiders and the Wildcats. It's Fitchburg High School Athletics right here on FATV. Back here at historic Crocker Field in Fitchburg. Red Raider Athletics here on FATV. The Red Raiders of Fitchburg High School and the Wildcats of Gardner High School. 1-0 Gardner in front as we start this second half of play. Daniel Bolak here with you in the top level of the press box here at Crocker Field. Travis Falk on camera today and doing all the technical stuff to make this broadcast happen. And many feet away from me. This game produced with all social distancing guidelines in place to make the safest broadcast possible. And as we mentioned, we are far away from everybody. No possibility of contact with fans or anyone else. Again, all to make certain that we do our part to contain the virus. As there was a very nice shot attempt there by Adeyemi Adegbaibi. It's probably the best scoring chance the Red Raiders have had. That one whistling just wide to the right of the goal, but not by very much. Here, ooh, from the crowd. That one sent back into the area. Karen will let it play on the hop. And he'll boot it back into play. Make sure to get it to land short of the midline. Got dinged for kicking it directly over the midline once in the first half.
Ken, wait. Good. When you're ready.
Kick in for the Red Raiders. Come out to Moro Fernandez. And now another whistle. Too much contact made there by Rigo Ruiz. Wasn't happy about it. Kevin Vieira. Now on the right side for Arduino. Fed into the area. But only a Wildcat there, but he's got to kick it out of bounds. As challenging from behind was Giovanni Nunez. From my count, this is at least the 6th corner kick of the contest for the Red Raiders. I've only got Gardner with 1. Although that may be a little off. I feel like they may have had more than 1.
You Rodrigo, no. Come back.
That one comes to a halt. Heard offsides called. That's the thing with kick-ins is, unlike throw-ins, they are governed by the offside rule. So you got to be aware of your placement when it's kicked in. Otherwise, you turn the ball over. Gardner trying to hit these stretch passes. They were able to make it work once. That's how Elvis Cabello was able to get the goal in the 13th minute. The only goal we've got in this contest. That's fed into the area. But Brian Vega Cabrera will get to it before it really goes into extreme danger. Patel was the one challenging there, as that one booted well back towards the Red Raider net. But well wide to the left, and another goal kick coming for the Red Raiders. 44th minute of play. This one booted to midfield. Andrew Kamasana. Move it along.
That's you, bro. Bring it.
Jesse Jamenchi. And there's a push in the back there out of Yemi Adegbaibi. Ends up falling to the ground. Seems like a legitimate honest-to-goodness foul there. And Adegbaibi getting tangled up with a couple of the Wildcats there. Rigo and Ricky Ruiz there exchanging words.
Get stop and then you can put him back in. Chill. 1 each.
And it looks like both of them, both Ricky Ruiz and Adegbaibi have been subbed off.
It's okay, coach. Take your time.
Trying to nip any of this drama in the bud.
All right, on my whistle.
Chris Merchant will come in for the Wildcats. That one turned towards goal. Diving to his left was Karen, but out of his reach, but also not on target. Goal kick awarded to the Wildcats. Eric Abua back into the game for the Red Raiders. Looked like they chose to sub Ricky Ruiz out until the next play was complete. The next play has been completed, and Ruiz is back into the game. Cameo turning around, kicking that up to the right side. In the corner, the Red Raiders will retrieve. And moving out to the near side, Arduino. Long stretch pass. Jamenchi trying to settle. Harassed and dispossessed by Aguilar. JJ Corral there. And now Arduino trying to make a run up the right side. Nicely sent across. Could be dangerous. There's a great shot off the foot of Vieira, but it rises just too high. Now the Red Raiders will bring Adegbaibi back on. The goal kick for Gardner. Settled down around the middle of the field. As we enter the 48th minute of the game. 4 20-minute quarters in MIAA play. Gardner up by a goal to nil. Cameo on the right side trying to send across. Freddie Peralta not able to make the play on it. Kicked out of bounds, it'll go. Bradley Mungai kicking it back into play. Adegbiyi trying to go on the give and go. He's got Giovanni Nunez there trying to get it across. Kicked out by Gardner for a corner. Goal in the 13th minute, all we've had there from Elvis Cameo. Still plenty of soccer to play. Fitchburg with at least their 7th corner. Nunez tries to get Kamasana. Quickly swarmed. Forced out for another corner. Kamasana settling it with the feet as he must. Can't touch it with his hands. Fakes it. Now takes it. Puts it across. Trying to get his foot on it was Jemenchi, but couldn't satisfactorily turn it towards goal. Gardner sending it across. Fitchburg has definitely dominated the time of possession. Sounds like a whistle away from the ball there. And it's against Gardner as well. Out to the near side for Arduino. Holds and handles. Rigo Ruiz trying to step up there. Adegbiyi can't find any space to make a play. Pinballs around for Martinez. Kept up there by Vieira. He's had so many touches of the ball today. Jemenchi on the right side. Arduino as it knocked out of bounds by Corral. On the kick in. The give and go, Moro Fernandez. Settling out, a shot for goal. Vieira with that strong leg. That goes wide to the left. For my count, no shots on goal. In this third quarter of play, we're just past halfway. Got Fitchburg with at least 4 shot attempts. I've only got Gardner with 1, but there's a shot on goal from a long way away. But Nick Karen able to settle that down, and then was a bit too exuberant with the kick for the second time today. He's kicked it directly over the midline, and that's an immediate foul. Again, in a normal year, that's not a thing, but it is this year. This is settled in the area. Good chance, a big save by Karen. Just staying with the ball, able to get his legs out there and rob Giovanni Nunez. Now Gardner trying to create an opportunity here from Mungai across. Couldn't feed Peralta. Trying to get a second chance there, but the referee had the best look at all of that one. Eventually kicked out off of the Wildcats. It'll be a quick turnaround for both of these sides, as Gardner's next game will be tomorrow, hosting Oakmont. 3:30 start from Watkins Field. And Fitchburg will be back at it tomorrow, as they'll have to go to Narragansett for a 4 o'clock start.
Red going in. Keep it going now. I know, I said it should have had so long. You got one going back there. Drop, get on the field. That's an air.
Free kick paid to the Red Raiders. Well played into the area. Adegbaibi puts it to the goal.
Yeah, but that was a foul. No, that wasn't indirect. That was direct. That was indirect. Foul. You called the touch.
And he's put that one home to tie it up. The 13th minute of the second half, the Red Raiders equalize.
Stop in.
Is that no goal? Adiami, keep working hard now. Come on.
No, I reacted a little late there because I thought I'd heard a whistle before he put it in, but that was me just hearing things apparently. Adeyemi Adegbaibi getting the strike there to tie the game at 1 as Giovanni Nunez is down on the ground and hurt. He'll be helped off. Again, hopefully he's all right. Adegbaibi had a goal in the last game against Quabbin. He's got one here today. And to think, at the time of the free kick, I heard one of the players say, "Hey, come on, let's keep it going." They didn't like the whistle that much. I could hear the referee was at least sympathetic to the plea. It was just one of those things, had to call the whistle, had to call a stop to play. But boy, did they take advantage. A beautifully taken free kick that just ends up being a perfect stretch pass to feed Adegbaibi. And just like that, the Red Raiders able to equalize. The Red Raiders with 7 shots in this third quarter. They had 9 in all of the first half. Gardner's only had a single shot to their credit, a single shot attempt, and they weren't able to turn that on goal. Shots on goal in this game now 7-2 in favor of the Red Raiders. They've played like the better team, especially for the last 2 quarters. And with Adegbaibi's goal, the scoreline a little more indicative, as Gardner's plays have been mostly just trying to hit those stretch passes, try to get those home run balls. It's worked once for them today. That seems to be the main strategy, as they've had a lot of trouble sustaining pressure and time in the Raider half of the field. Vieira up to the right side. Jamenshi not able to get there. Peralta not able to get the settle. As Fernandez with the touch on and now booted downfield by Rigo Ruiz. This will make it all the way to the area where Brian Vega Cabrera can pick it up and quickly deposit it back into play. On the near side, Rodrigo Arduino. I believe he took the free kick, feeding Adegbaibi for that goal. Contact there, and that was against Gardner. Free kick for the Red Raiders. Arduino to take it from the right side. Sent it across. Think it was one of those indirect free kicks, which Fitchburg was ahead of the defense on it. As we mentioned, if it's a foul stopping play because of COVID-related contact, as in contact just a bit too rough for the sake of social distancing, then it's only an indirect free kick. It's not a direct free kick. And because it's an indirect free kick, the offsides rule applies. So you've got to stay onside until the kick is made. Approaching the 59th minute of this game. And we're level at 1 apiece. Both goals coming in the 13th minute of each half. Elvis Cameo for Gardner, Adeyemi Adegbayibi for Fitchburg. Gardner trying to settle up here, trying to get a turn towards goal. Shot save, and the rebound put wide. Well struck on the initial chance. Vega Cabrera making just his second save of the contest. But the rebound badly misfired. One off the leg of Freddie Peralta. It's a pretty good thing, though, if it takes more than 18 minutes before your opposition can even get a shot on target in the corner. Jamenshi, now Kamasana stepping up. Adegbayibi pushes out to the near side. Jesse Jamenshi able to keep it alive. And the foul against the Red Raiders, too much from Adegbayibi.
Direct, this is going to be direct.
Free kick paid. And it's settled down by Mauro Fernandez. Vieira continuing to push the ball along. Turns in the direction of goal. Karen will pick that one up.
No intent right here, but hit him. Ball hit him.
Take his time. Now make sure to put just a little bit of touch on it, but not too much. And again, he's put it over the midline from his area twice. Probably doesn't want to do that again. Now into stoppage time in this third quarter of play. Kick in for the Red Raiders. Had the goal on a brief stoppage for an injury, so might make sense to see up to a minute of additional time in this third quarter. Gardner will have the kick in. Not played as nicely as they'd like, but they can still push on. Tumbling to ground and getting back up was a Wildcat. Not able to do much more than that. And there's the whistle for three-quarter time here from historic Crocker Field. It's Fitchburg 1 and Gardner 1. Adeyemi Adegbayibi getting the goal in the 53rd minute of this game, the 13th minute of the second half, after Elvis Cameo scored the opener in the 13th minute of the first half. Bit of interesting symmetry there. Shots in this game now 17 for the Red Raiders compared to 9 for Gardner. Shots on goal in that third quarter, it was pretty much all Fitchburg. As Fitchburg now leading in the shot on goal department by a margin of 7-3. With the Red Raiders getting, in my math, got to figure out some math quickly here. 3 shots on goal in the third quarter of play. Gardner just 1. Their only shot was on target. The Red Raiders with 8 shot attempts total in that third quarter of play. But Gardner only that 1 shot on target to show for it. As Fitchburg really dominated the time of possession. A look now at the pod standings. As you may know, this year and this fall, all play being contained in pods. Fitchburg assigned a pod with 5 other schools. Quabbin, Oakmont, Gardner, Narragansett, and Murdoch. We'll not be seeing Murdoch in boys or girls soccer this year, as they have struggled immensely with numbers. They are co-oping with Narragansett this year. So we will be seeing some students from Murdoch. They'll just be wearing Narragansett's uniform. Same colors, though. Blue and white for both sides. It's not like Fitchburg and Leominster, where it's red for Fitchburg and blue for Leominster. But with Gansett and Murdoch, they both have essentially the same color scheme. This means if you're going just by the colors, it's like they're also Thanksgiving Day rivals. Narragansett in Templeton and Murdoch in Winchendon. Not too far apart, but it's funny, if you're going just by the colors, you can't really tell who's a fan of who. Quabbin 2-0 thus far in the pod. Fitchburg and Oakmont 1-1. Gardner and Narragansett are 0-1. Ball pinball out of bounds. Last off of Fitchburg. Gardner will have the kick in. Gardner, it's going to be their one of 3 games in a 4-day span. So they've got Narragansett tomorrow and then Narragansett. They have Oakmont tomorrow and Narragansett on Saturday. That's what they've got. Fitchburg has Narragansett tomorrow before the cycle resets, and they get Oakmont again next Tuesday. Gardner will try to drive this down the far side. Mungai, not able to get much on it. Ends up committing the foul there. Flips the back of Carlos Martinez. Free kick coming for the Red Raiders. Taken by Mauro Fernandez. Sell to the right side of the area. Appeal for a handball. Well, it'll be a penalty if so. And that very much indeed is the case. Knocked down with the hand in the penalty area, and a penalty awarded to Fitchburg. Boy, this is a significant turn of events. The Red Raiders could get their first lead of the contest. Fitchburg got their first goal on a long-distance free kick that turned into a wonderful scoring chance. A long-distance free kick has drawn a penalty, and Mauro Fernandez is going to take it from the spot. There's the whistle, there's the kick, and there's the goal. Karen guesses correctly, dives to his right, just out of his reach. And in the 63rd minute, the Red Raiders lead for the first time today, 2-1. About 10 minutes of game time after the goal by Adeyemi Adegbaibi. And now that'll send Gardner scrambling. So they were keeping with the Red Raiders early on in the contest. They'd gotten the opening goal. But strong play from the team clad in red over the last 2 quarters and change. And the penalty gives Fitchburg the lead. There's Elvis trying to settle, trying to get a shot towards goal. Red Raider defense will have none of it. Aguilar sending it across. Kamasana. One of the more obvious fouls there. As Rigo Ruiz with the forearm shiver, sending Kamasana to ground. They'll remove that ball from play.
This is direct. This is direct.
Free kick here taken by Fernandez. Drive it downfield. That's headed up in the air, and you can't do that. And another free kick to be paid. This will be the indirect variety. So they can't go straight for goal here. You have to have a touch. And there is the touch. Fernandez trying to bloop it forward. Trying to kick it out of danger as that pops up in the air just to the right of the area. Kamasana trying to get in position. Now pushed along by Arduino, but Gardner able to clear it. Cameo on the run there, battling with Carlos Martinez. Ball goes into touch. Last off Gardner. They'll repeat the process there. About 15 minutes to go in this contest. Fitchburg with a 2-1 lead. The whistle there because the ball was elevated so highly off the kick-in. They want those kick-ins to stay low to the ground. They don't want any aerial battles. A kick-in paid there. Now satisfied with the spot. We restart play. Gardner trying to get those stretch passes, trying to find their players at the top of the area. Adegbeibi fouled as he tries to transition the offense. He's going to take a moment, stretch out the legs.
On the whistle.
Now back to his feet.
They're good, they're good.
This will be a direct free kick. Adegbeibi flicks it back for Kamasana. Couldn't get the foot to get it to Nunez on the left wing. Arduino. Back for Moro Fernandez. He's got the penalty that gave the Raiders the lead. Ball knocked out of bounds. It'll be Red Raider ball. 68th minute of action. 2-1. Fitchburg in front. Adegbeibi trying to move it along. Stepping up there, knocking away was Kevin Rivera. Giovanni Princeton moving it along for Vieira. Vieira will go to the right. Trying to play it over Corral. As Giamenci has him beat. Kamasana, left foot shot. Offline. Looks like J.J. Corral comes off there for Johnny Vasquez. Get back downfield into play. Rigo Ruiz settling it. Bradley Mungai trying to make the play. A bit slow to get up. Still on to one knee. Now he's trying to play on, but he is definitely hobbling and hurt. See what comes of this. Fernandez trying to move it along. He'll stop play here.
Not in the back. Yeah, I missed him. I got you. Unlucky.
The referee very cross with Gardner there. Not happy with the foul that was committed. It'll be a direct free kick. Fernandez boot it right towards goal. Sliding save there by Karen. Now trying to set up for another chance was Kamasana. Now he gets the shot off, but Karen's got that squared away. Makes a bit of an easier save there. Gardner will get it out to midfield. Freddie Peralta definitely lurking in the area. It's the ball booted by Trell Timothy off of Peralta's legs and out of bounds. Have to go get another ball now. About halfway through this fourth and final quarter of play, as Fitchburg leads 2-1. 53rd minute goal by Adeyemi Adegbaibi, followed by 10 minutes later, a penalty successfully converted by Mauro Fernandez. Cameo trying to get some space. There's a push. Warding off there. Can't do that. And now Cameo is having a conversation with the referee about that. Getting very close to the ref. Not happy with the call. And one has to be very careful when approaching the referee to discuss something like that, as you are liable to be carded if you approach too closely to the referee to argue about something. Correa getting all balls, he knocks that out of bounds. But that was a slide tackle, which you are not allowed to do. So an indirect free kick to be paid. And that one sent in the direction of goal, but just too much loft on that one off the foot of Vieira. Another goal kick awarded. '73rd minute of play. Fitchburg 2, Gardner 1. Gardner got the opening strike back in the 13th minute of this game from Elvis Cameo. A through ball where he was able to get past all the defense. On the near side with some room is Freddie Peralta. Puts that towards goal. Ends up being punched away by Vega Cabrera. And Gardner earns a corner out of that. Haven't had too many of those today. Good opportunity for the Raiders. They'll make a substitution. We've seen a few substitutions from the Raiders today, but pretty much all of them have been bringing Eric Abua into the game. Most of these players have been out there the entire match. Plenty of players available on the bench, but Cameron Tucker feels like the game's been going pretty well with the personnel he's got out there, and as long as they're fit enough to continue on, as this one pinballing in the area. Ruiz Trying to settle it. There's a shot, goes just wide. Cameo looking for his brace there. Had the goal, as we mentioned, in the 13th minute. Didn't miss that one by a whole lot. Was trying to tuck it inside that post, couldn't do so. But now another shot with authority. That one wide to the left as well. That time, Brian Ruiz taking the shot. 14 shots in this game for Gardner, 22 shots in this game for Fitchburg. Shots on goal are 10-4 in favor of the Red Raiders, and a 2-1 lead for the team clad in red. Whistle blows, and the player's not happy with that. Ultimately, it is a free kick for Gardner. That's what it appears to be. Not exactly sure what really happened there, but the players on both sides discussing with the referee. Not satisfied with whatever had happened there. The two referees will now get together and discuss. I didn't get a good look at what happened myself. I can see Brian Vega Cabrera with his hands out the way they are. He's dumbfounded by what has resulted from this. As this game has ground to a halt. The referees, again, discussing what they've seen. The players will now come together in small huddles and discuss where we go from here. Now discussions with the Fitchburg High coaching staff. I would think. One Fitchburg High coach, and the Gardner coaching staff, Dan Forte, the head coach for the Wildcats, also the athletic director, and Cameron Tucker for the Red Raiders. He'd come over there to join in the discussion. Fitchburg in front by a score of 2-1. Our unofficial clock will keep rolling, but we're going to have a few minutes of stoppage time for sure. We mentioned all time on your screen, unofficial. They've come to a decision. All told, it is a goal kick for the Red Raiders. Perhaps when I watch this on replay, I'll have a better idea of what happened, but I honestly had no clue what happened there. Perhaps they were dissatisfied with the taking of the goal kick. Everything looked fine to me. So ultimately, the best they could do was just reset the play. But yeah, a rather strange stoppage to say the least. So I'd be expecting at least 2 minutes of stoppage time in this contest. Fitchburg trying to push it along. Vieira not able to get around the defender. Looks like some sustained hands on the back as well there. That'll be a COVID whistle. For the most part, you can tell which ones are COVID-related whistles and which ones aren't, because the official holds his hand up in the air for the taking of a free kick if it's an indirect free kick. And as we've mentioned, the vast majority, a lot of these stoppages are the COVID-related stoppages put in there for the safety of play. And when it's one of those, they signal for the indirect free kick. So that's a top tip to those watching. Haven't called a boys soccer game in 4 years before today, so I wish it hadn't taken me until about the third quarter to realize that. Pushing the back there by Degbaibi. Looked like it was into the back of Kevin Rivera, senior defender for the Wildcats. Where's number 1? Very interesting to see essentially a goaltender number assigned to a player, but at least it is to a defender. So this is a great chance for Gardner, and what a save by Vega Cabrera to save the game there, as Cameo had an excellent chance to put it home. He's got his hands to his head. He cannot believe that he could not score there.
Time? About 3 and change. He get the official.
By far the biggest save Brian Vega Cabrera has made in this contest. Gardner has the kick in here. And that's the strategy Gardner's been trying all day long, trying to hit those stretch passes, try to get those breaks downfield. It worked for Elvis Cameo once in this game. Very nearly worked again near the death of this game. So we're well into stoppage time now. The next whistle at this point, the next whistle could very well be the last one. We have a stoppage to play here too, as Moro Fernandez a bit slow to get up, holding his left leg. And the free kick sent well downfield. But a whistle going for that one. Might have been offside. Or maybe just been too much jostling. Gardner just trying to set up for one last chance. Not a lot of time to work with. Of course, how well they know that on the field, hard to say. Remember, the scoreboard is off here at historic Crocker Field. They can't see how much time is left. They have to use their best judgment. And the clock on your screen says we're well past 20 minutes, but we had a couple of lengthy stoppages. This one into the area, and no chances being taken there. Kicked right out there by Abua. Shutting Freddie Peralta away from the ball. How much more time does Gardner have? Aguilar is going to take the kick in. Telling the players to back up there. Flicking it downfield into that corner. Out it'll go. Looked like miscommunication. So that's not the play they were looking for. Fitchburg to make a sub here. Sarduino comes back into the game. Fitchburg players telling Abua he's got to kick it out there. Waste precious seconds. Surely not much time left. So I think we're now approaching the 4th minute of stoppage time. 4th or 5th minute. That one taken by Kamasana. Just trying to nudge it away from Ricky Ruiz. Ruiz trying to find space. Fitchburg and Vieira able to take it away, clear it to midfield. Adegbaibi's going to have a breakaway towards goal, saved by Karen. And that will be the last play of the game, as the Red Raiders come from behind to take a 2-1 victory. The Red Raiders continued to play well in the 4th quarter. And really, Gardner, they had a couple of chances. They did actually do a lot better at getting shots in the 4th quarter. They were able to get 6 shots in the direction of the Red Raider cage. They got 2 shots on goal, but one very big one with a few minutes remaining, as Elvis Cameo thought he very well could have had his second. But a tremendous save by Brian Vega Cabrera denies him and ultimately saves the game for the Red Raiders as they take a 2-1 win. Final shots unofficial, highly unofficial. 23 shots for the Red Raiders, 15 for Gardner. Shots on goal in the game, Fitchburg 11, Gardner 5. So 4 saves for Vega Cabrera and 9 saves for Nick Karen. He made some pretty good ones to keep his team in it. Elvis Cameo, he got that opening goal in the 13th minute. The 1 home run ball that worked to perfection for the Wildcats today. Had a couple other ones with good opportunities, including that one very late that Vega Cabrera was wise to. But for the most part, Fitchburg able to control the possession, able to control the ball better than Gardner was. And really, it was taking advantage of 2 Gardner fouls that led to those free kicks, the one leading to Adeyemi Egbeabi getting that goal in the 53rd minute, and then 10 minutes later, the free kick that led to Mauro Fernandez getting that penalty and converting after the handball in the area by Gardner. And so a big win for the Red Raiders, puts them to 2-1 on the season. Gardner still looking for their first win. They'll fall to 0-2. Fitchburg will be right back in it tomorrow. They'll be taking on Narragansett at 4 o'clock from Templeton. Gardner will be back on it tomorrow as well. They'll be hosting Oakmont at 3:30. I think that'll wrap it up here from historic Crocker Field. The final score here from Fitchburg, it is the Fitchburg Red Raiders 2, the Gardner Wildcats 1. So for Travis Falk on camera, everyone else here at FATV, I'm Daniel Bolak saying thank you for tuning in, and until next time, so long from Fitchburg.